going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And shout out to man like Frank Lampard, man. That brother there, you know, good player, still very good player. But in terms of management, I'm not even sure he'd win the league on Football Manager, people. But big up man like Frank. I want Frank to stay at Chelsea, man. Personally, I'm delighted with the job he is doing. They've spent 500 million. And, you know, they're only just above the relegation zone. But anyway, enough of that mess over there. Big up everyone tuned in today. Big up everyone who supported the watch-along last night. Great numbers as always. Really appreciate that. Subscribers only mode was a game changer, I think. We had a lot going off in the comments, so subscribers only worked well. And big up to everyone on this Wednesday. Happy Sam Allardyce Wednesday, people. Big Sam is back in the Premier League. He's at Leeds United. And, yeah, man, Big Sam is back in the Prem. So let's hope Leeds perform a masterclass against Manchester City at the weekend. And obviously, every Arsenal fan will be a West Ham fan tonight. Forever blowing bubbles, Declan Rice, Paolo Di Canio, all of that West Ham stuff. So we'll all be supporting them tonight. And, yeah, big up to everyone tuned in. Jay Muller says, big up, Curtis, can't believe I've caught you live. Big ups from Valencia. I hope you're well. Johnny said, end the league now. Just end it. Lock it off. We're top of the league shamelessly, people. I find it hard to celebrate it. But, you know, no pressure FC. They were cooking last night. The pressure was off. So we got the barbecue out and it was a cookout. And Chelsea, they absolutely stunk out the place, man. I can't lie. That is up there as one of the worst Chelsea teams I've ever seen. Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid. Is that confirmed? I haven't seen that anywhere. Oh, a lot of you saying Real Madrid. Wow, has that just broke then? Let me have a look. People saying Jude Bellingham. Yep. Wow. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted, people. Real Madrid are close to completing the deal of signing Jude Bellingham. Wow, that is unbelievable. Did not see that coming. Everything I've been hearing was the guy wants to come back to England. Jude Bellingham is signing for Real Madrid, people. Apparently £120 million is what I'm seeing here. That is unbelievable. New meeting has been scheduled. What a move. What a move that is for Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, 120 million. Maybe Camavinga now leaves. I mean, there's a story here that I'm reading now saying that Tchouaméni could be the one who leaves rather than Camavinga. Camavinga's unreal, but you got to think they got Modric, mid-30s. They got Toni Kroos. I think next year's the last year of his deal. You don't say no to Real Madrid. It's true. You know, young lad from Birmingham. You don't turn down Real Madrid. You may never get that opportunity. We'll gazump them. Yeah, we'll give you 120 million. We'll pay it over the next 10,000 years. You know, that should work. Valverde. And listen, I wonder if there is somebody at Madrid that we can go there and go and pick up. You know, I would definitely go and take Tchouaméni off them, you know. I know Camavinga's the one that I really like, but I would take Tchouaméni. Camavinga, Tchouaméni and Bellingham. That's the future, innit? But anyway, enough of that. We're not in that race, so let's not worry about that. But Jude Bellingham signing for Real Madrid, people. Just been announced by Fabrizio Romano. Anyway, people. Anyway, let's talk about Arsenal. Absolute light work last night. It was just like a late night snack. It was a late night snack, people. It was not even dinner. It was not even the side dish. It was like having a little bit of cereal before bed. I'm a little bit peckish. I'll have a little bit of cereal. Chelsea are just a light snack now, people. Absolute light work. That first half is up there as possibly the worst half of football that I've seen from anybody against Arsenal this season. They were absolutely horrendous. I think the only thing I would say about last night is I would have liked to have seen Arsenal really put that Chelsea team to the sword and maybe beat them 5 or 6-0. I know I may sound a little bit spoiled by saying that. Some of you would say, well, you know, that's still a good result for Arsenal, winning 3-1 against Chelsea, but I would have liked to have seen 5 or 6-0 happen. Couple of bits I want to get into before we get into the show. We're going to do our usual Our usual sort of review of the game and the goals. Just quickly gonna go through them. Not gonna take up too much of your time with this one. But what I thought was really interesting about this was Martin Odegaard. Man said I was all red yesterday, all blue today. People trying to keep it neutral, for when I come to LA when they hopefully play against Barcelona, 26th of July apparently. But this is just quickly what I wanted to look at was Martin Odegaard. And what I love so much about this goal is if you look here. Kovacic checks his shoulder to see where Martin Odegaard is. I wish I could just play this without getting copyrighted. It would be far easier. But we are where we are. Kovacic sees the run of Martin Odegaard. And as it plays, what sort of happens is Odegaard runs and then checks his run and comes back out, while Kovacic runs in a straight line. And what's so brilliant about this goal from Martin Odegaard, let alone the finish that is absolutely outrageous, is I love the fact of the movement of Odegaard, especially if you're a midfielder. You got to look at these little things. Kovacic checks his shoulder one last time, makes a straight run into the penalty area to see where Martin Odegaard is. What Odegaard does, he checks his run at the last minute. As you can see here, Kovacic is in a mess. Odegaard's on the edge of the area, and he bends it in the top corner, crossbarring in. Absolutely brilliant goal. Great movement. I would say outside of Kevin De Bruyne, he's been the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League this season. Absolutely brilliant. And it was a game where he did turn up for us. So, brilliant goal, the first one. On the second one, what I love about this one, he does the opposite. And what he does on this one, just as Granit Xhaka's drilling it, he runs into the space, gets between the two defenders, and casually finishes. As the ball's coming in, he's between Sterling and Thiago Silva and slots it into the bottom corner. Again, it's fantastic movement. You wouldn't really notice it, but it's just those little details, getting between the lines. Mesut Ozil used to play between those lines. Listen, Fernandes been excellent as well, but I think you look at the numbers that Odegaard has produced this year. I mean, I'm not sure. Has he produced bigger numbers than Bruno? 14 goals, 7 assists for Martin Odegaard this season. So 21 goal contributions. Bruno Fernandes, 6 goals, 7 assists. So, Odegaard's had a better season. He's scored more than double the goals of Bruno Fernandes this season. So, outstanding. Outstanding. Listen, I still have reservations with certain things that he does or doesn't do in terms of Martin Odegaard. I think in certain games he does go missing, but he's a fantastic player and has had a very, very good season this season. So I have to give him his props as well. A couple other things I want to look at before we round up. The Gabriel Jesus goal. Nothing much to look at. What I did just want to sort of look at and what I liked about this is the fact that as he's scoring this, we've got 4 players in the penalty area. In fact, in the 6-yard box. Saka, Jesus, and Trossard and Granit Xhaka, 4 players in the area. Something that I've said many times we don't do enough is get players in the penalty area. Getting 4 players in the area. Odegaard's on the edge of the box. You get players in the area, you tend to score more goals. The final thing, just quickly this one with our little review people. And I shouldn't really have finished with a bad one, but Zinchenko, man. Zinchenko. As much as I like this guy and I love this guy's passion and professionalism, look at the state of this defending. I mean, he looks shell-shocked. The look on his face is like, oh, bro, I didn't even know you was there. Madueke's just ran off him. Direct ball over the top. Zinchenko's got no idea that he's making a run off him. And then look at the state of this reaction. Madueke is controlling the ball, about to slot it in. Look at Zinchenko. He's literally doing the mannequin challenge. I think we have to understand with Zinchenko, right, that he is not a defender. Right, so when I'm criticising him, and a lot of us are now starting to criticise him a little bit, he's not a defender. This is just a Fabian Delph, right? When Pep decided, I need a left back, Mendy was, should we say, otherwise engaged at Manchester City. So he goes, right, I've got a left-footed centre mid, I'm going to play him at left back. Manchester City can get away with that because they get 75% possession most weeks. So you can throw Zinchenko at left back at Man City and he'll look like a dream because he'll get inverted, he'll keep the ball, they'll have 70% possession. He can't defend. He can't defend. Let's just be honest. Zinchenko cannot defend. If I was a right winger in the Prem, I would want to play against Zinchenko. And that's something that Arsenal have to look at moving forward. And this is why we have to be very careful as to what happens with Kieran Tierney. Don't just let a quality left back walk out the door easily. I think he is a poor defender. Fantastic on the ball. But even last night, I thought first half he gave the ball away quite easily. Listen, all this inverted, and I know, again, I'm going to sound like an old man, and I apologise in advance. Oh, you've got to move with the modern game. It's changed, it's changed. I'm sorry, but sometimes it's just what it is. I want a left back that can defend. All the other stuff to me is a bonus. If you're good on the ball, can you pass? Can you do this? I hope you can do that, but ultimately, my number one question, you're my left back, can you defend? No, you can't. Okay, I don't want to play you there. Unless you can defend, unless you can improve defensively. So he has to work on that. He's got to still improve. He's a natural centre midfielder and he doesn't look like he wants to defend. That's the problem. And I think over the last 4 games, even in possession, I think he's giving the ball away too much. And I know the game's changed and, Dani Alves sort of changed it all and Marcelo, we're looking for guys. But Marcelo could still defend when he had to, and you look at the way Trent's been exposed in the last couple of years in that sort of, inability of his to defend. I just think we've got to sort of look at Zinchenko's defending. Yeah, it's all good. Oh, he's inverted and all of that. The brother needs to defend at times as well. Defenders defend. I sign a striker because I want you to hit the back of the net. Not that you can slide tackle. And I want my left back to be able to defend. So he definitely needs to improve. And Kieran Tierney did look fed up yesterday when he came on. Clearly a lot of frustration. And listen, I hope we hang on to him. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up at Newcastle. So we'll have to see. We'll move on from that one anyway, people. A few super chats, Alberto. Just certain games Zinny can't play next year. I think it's a big mistake that Arteta has made this year. I think he should have been more versatile. I think you got to look at certain games and maybe you go, okay, Liverpool at Anfield, Mo Salah. Going to need the better defender. Let me go Kieran Tierney. At home against mid-table teams, bottom half, dominating the ball. Okay, Zinny's going to get on the ball for us and make things happen. I just think the fact that he's been full-time, if Zinny's fit, he plays. I think if Tierney is at the club next season, that's something he's got to look at moving forward. Maybe rotate a little bit more at times. Big up Alberto. Southern Gooner said, I'm from the old school. 4 at the back stops the attack. Just defend properly. That's all I want. I'm with you on that. Play 4, defend properly. And then if you can do something going forward, then we'll work with that as well, of course, Big up Southern Gooner. Big up Cormac, who said, does Tierney start now the next game? Why is Arteta not being criticised more for playing a guy who is a liability? Overcomplicates it trying to copy Pep. I think you've got to look at it and go that Arteta signed this guy. To sign him, they would have had to convince him that, you're coming here to play football. You're not coming here to be a backup dancer. He could have stayed on Man City's bench. So the reality of the situation is he's come here to be first choice. So he doesn't want to play Kieran Tierney over him. And what he wants from his fullback, Kieran Tierney can't do. When Tierney plays, he tries to invert him. And he's not an inverted left back, So I think that's the issue. Jerry said, case in point, Pep played Bernardo at left back. So, exactly. Imagine us trying to play Martin Odegaard at left back. He'd get absolutely torn a new one. But you can do it when you play for Manchester City. Let's see what you're saying. Anyway, Camavinga can play this inverted left back. They're not going to sell him. No chance. Pepper's gone to a traditional defender and the treble is on. Forgive me, people, while I was looking at my phone. Anybody that's trying to go to this game in New York, Arsenal against Man United, these ticket prices are absolutely going through the roof. I think about $150 is the cheapest ticket in the whole stadium. And they're for the ones basically on the moon where you're going to need binoculars to see. A decent ticket's going to cost you $400 or $500, which is just, it's crazy. And again, apologies, I'm going to sound like an old man. But football is just disappearing from the regular football fan. You know, how can you charge $500 to watch a pre-season friendly where you're probably going to play Rob Holding, Mohamed El Neni, Man United probably going to have Fred and Harry Maguire on the pitch? Like, come on, man. What the hell's going on? It's a pre-season friendly. But again, sorry, I'm getting older. You know, you moan a bit more when you get old. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting on the moon probably. But I'm sure I can wiggle my way around it somehow, people. United v Wrexham in San Diego are $200. $200 to watch the cycling GK. It's crazy. It's no disrespect to him, but yeah, man. Old man grandpa, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. You do complain as you get older, you know. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a rip-off. Anyway, let's talk about the game yesterday. Let's get into player ratings and review the game and all of that good stuff. Fans do need to strike, but they know we're addicted to watching our team, so they know they can bump the fans off. Big C, you're better off going to DC for that price. Yeah, them ones looked even more expensive when I looked for that one. But big up Alberto. Let's have a look at the game yesterday. $500, big up Broads, to see Chong and Robbie Savage's son. Exactly, that's about what you're going to see from Man United. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's have a look at the game yesterday. 3-1. First 45 minutes. No Pressure FC were absolutely cooking. We were outstanding. When there's no pressure, we are unbelievable. We look like champions under no pressure. Dre said, agreed Curtis, same with basketball. The elite are being catered to. I stayed up late last night watching the Lakers. LeBron, 1-0 to the Lakers. Good stuff, good stuff. I want the Lakers to win. I'm a LeBron fan. But anyway, we'll get back to that. But yeah, the elite are being catered to. 3-1 victory for Arsenal. First half, unbelievable. 3-0 up. Game was over. Light work FC. Second half, we concede a goal. And it's sort of, I won't say it goes downhill. It didn't go downhill. But there's no way, first of all, that we shouldn't have scored another goal. And there's no way that we should have conceded. Chelsea looked like there's no way on earth they should have scored a goal yesterday. It was a sloppy goal to concede. This is one of the things that I think needs to change with Arsenal. I think if Chelsea were playing against Manchester City and they were 3-0 down at half-time, I think they'd lose that game 6-0, 5-0. I think that Haaland's taking the match ball home. You know, there's no way they're getting out of there with less than 5 goals conceded. We let them off the hook, 3-1. I think in the end, they've made it semi-respectable when they should have been embarrassed. You know, they should have been completely embarrassed by what happened in that game. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. But overall, we would have all taken 3-1 before the game. I predicted 2-1. Wasim said we gave Chelsea their goal of the month for May. Was that the only goal they've scored? Well, probably will be, actually. But big up Wasim and Latte, I think, were both at the game yesterday. Big up C-Unit Business. DC has a Nando's. It's worth a visit. I think it's always worth a visit for a cheeky Nando's. I would say that first 45 minutes was the easiest 45 minutes that Arsenal have had all season. I've got to be honest. Chelsea was terrible. That is one of the worst Chelsea teams I've ever seen. Not individually on paper, but collectively. For anyone who plays FIFA, they have got zero chemistry in this team. They're not playing. I think most of their team's on the beach. 2 goals for Martin Odegaard, 1 for Gabriel Jesus, 1 for Madueke. And let's get into the player ratings, people. I had some shameless moments yesterday, I can't lie. I was saying Granit Xhaka, you know, as an attacking midfielder, sometimes he's too slow on the ball. He'd just been tackled by Kante. He then got 2 assists. Then I said, Gabriel Jesus. We need a goal scorer. He's a great player, but doesn't score enough goals. We need Ivan Toney. We need Osimhen. And then he scores a goal. So maybe I should just be critical of each player and then they'll score a goal, people. Before we get into the player ratings, just a reminder for anyone who's just tuned in. Jude Bellingham is signing for Real Madrid. Fabrizio Romano has announced it, £120 million. Obviously, a lot of people were saying with the Liverpool deal collapsing, he could be going to Manchester City. But Jude Bellingham is going to Real Madrid. What a deal that is for Madrid. Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouameni. They got some serious young centre midfielders coming through there. Anyway, let's get into the player ratings, people. Yeah, I saw the picture. Enzo Fernandez on the floor, eating the carpet at Arsenal, while Jorginho was bopping. Maybe we signed a better midfielder. I'm sorry, I'm joking. It's shameless, but you know, I've got to do it. It's Chelsea. Fat Frank, you know, they're a mess. They're only just surviving relegation at the moment. Anyway, Grizz in the mud. Football is a humbler, as you say, Grisaldo. Let's get into the player ratings. You know what we do. We read out the name. Let me know in the comments what your rating would be. Bleck said Chelsea won 1-0 in the second half. They made history. Yeah, they can have the second half trophy, people. Why not? We never rated Bellingham anyway. Nah, man, Declan Rice FC, people. You know how we go with it. Right, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, people. Aaron Ramsdale in goal. It's funny, some people in the comments yesterday were saying he should have done better with the goal. I never really thought about it being his fault at all. He made a good save from, who was it in the first half? Left side. Chilwell, I think. Chilwell had a really good shot. I think it was 1-0 at the time. He tips it over. That's a vital save. They equalise there. It's a different game. So I'm going to give Aaron Ramsdale a 7 out of 10. Key moments, make big saves, keep us in the game. What do you think? R said an 8. Chris said 7. 6.5 says Cormac. Don says a 7. Chris said a 7. No, I blame Zinchenko fully. It was a deflection. 7.5. So I'm going to give him a 7 for Aaron Ramsdale. Don't think he had a lot to do. Made a fantastic save when he had to. And I don't think the goal was his fault, to be honest. That's Zinni's fault. Let's talk about the back four. Let's start with Benny Blanco. Thought he had a good game. Up against Raheem Sterling. Very sharp, very quick. Sterling did nothing. Got substituted. Mudryk came on, was very fast. Went on a couple runs. I thought Benny Blanco had a decent game yesterday, I got to be honest. If you play 90 minutes against Sterling and Mudryk and nobody troubles you, then I'd say you've had a good night at the office. I'm going to give him... Did he get... he got forward a few times. Do you know what? I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm going to be kind to him. Most of you saying 7 for Benny Blanco. I'm going to give him 7.5. I don't think he's played that well lately. And I thought he had a good game. Overlapped a bit more. And like I said, Sterling and Mudryk are two live wires. 100% Guna said he was poor, 5 out of 10. I thought he played well. I thought he did well. Mudryk done him once. He outran him once, I can't lie. But Mudryk is super quick. Let's talk about the left-back, Alexander Zinchenko. For me... I would probably give him our lowest rating. Maybe along with Saka. But I think Zinchenko, first half, sloppy on the ball. Second half, cost us a goal. Let's just talk cold, hard facts. That's like a striker missing a tap-in. It's a simple long ball, doesn't check his shoulder. I'm giving him a 5. I don't want to destroy him. I'm giving him a 5. To me, 6 is an average performance. You've made a mistake that's led to a goal. So I'm giving him a 5. I think Zinchenko defensively over the last 4 weeks, I think he should have been dropped. I got to be honest. When he's fit, he plays. I would consider, you're going Newcastle. They got live wires out wide, Almiron and them. He was giving the ball away first half as well. There's a reason this guy didn't make it at Man City long term. I know he won trophies there, but they've replaced him with Nathan Ake, a centre-back. So clearly there was an issue there. I think he was a better Fabian Delph for them. So Zinni, for me, I'd consider resting him quote unquote resting him, dropping him against Newcastle. He's just sloppy and on possession at the moment as well, and switched off for the goal. I'm not don't destroy me, Mike Cry. Listen, Zinni this season has been good for us, but this key moment when we've needed him defensively has been exposed. You can see that he's a natural midfielder. 5 is way too generous, says Johnny Boy. I think Kieran Tierney has to start at Newcastle, said LSU Gunner. Would you sell him and keep Tierney? I would like to keep both. I would like to keep both. Two good options. Let's go into the centre-backs. Let's talk about Jakub Kiwior. Big up Kiwi, man. The Kiwi was ripe yesterday. I said the Kiwi wasn't ripe. You know, it was ripe yesterday. I thought he played really well. Premier League debut against Chelsea, against, Aubameyang and Sterling and these guys. He was under pressure. Started off a little bit nervy. I thought he got his act together. 93% pass completion. I'm going to give Kiwior 8 out of 10. Left-sided centre-back, played on the right. I thought he had a good game. Should he have played sooner? I think he probably should have. One thing's for sure, I'm not going to get overly carried away about the performance because I thought Chelsea were terrible. And I think Newcastle away will be a bigger reflection of how good he truly is because, Callum Wilson and Isaac and playing away from home will be different. But Kiwior gets an 8 out of 10 and fair play to him. His pace is deceptively quick. I think he's got them long strides, and he can get to the ball. Do you start him on Sunday? Absolutely. I'm not starting Rob Holding. We've seen Rob Holding and we know how that story ends. So Chelsea were poor. I'm going to give him an 8. Didn't have a lot to do, but what he did well. It's his debut. He's under pressure. He did get bullied one time by Kai Havertz, and I didn't like that. You get him some yam and dumpling and banana to deal with that because you got to be strong in the Prem, and Havertz is not even strong. So, yeah, that worried me. I'm going to give him a kind 8 out of 10. And let's talk about Gabriel. This is the one downer about that game yesterday for me, is the fact that this guy came off injured towards the end of the game. Now, I'm hoping he just got a kick and it's nothing to worry about, because if this guy is out injured for the weekend against Newcastle, and we're playing Kiwior and Rob Holding, then, yeah, I'll be doing a watch-along from behind the sofa. I just hope this brother is available. And I'm going to give a lot of credit to Gabriel. I've seen some people criticising Gabriel over the last few weeks. Arsenal collectively have not defended as well over the past few weeks, right? And we know this. This guy he's the only player really in our back four that I think has held his head above water over the past 4 or 5 weeks. People have to understand, when you play in a centre-back pairing and your centre-back partner disappears and a player comes in that's nowhere near as good as you, you're trying to keep an eye on him as well. You can't solely do your job. You're trying to make sure Holding's okay. With Saliba, he knew I can go and do my job. Saliba's going to, clean up anything that's necessary. This guy has been quality for Arsenal. He's 25 years of age. He's still learning. He's still improving. He's left-footed as well, which, is a premium these days. I think this guy is a huge part of Arsenal's future. Hardly ever gets injured, leadership qualities, cares about the club, £25 million. What more do you want? What more do you want, really, in the modern game? He's an absolute class act, in my opinion. And listen, man, 34 games in the Premier League this season. He's played every single one of them. No red cards, 4 yellows. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's up there for player of the season. I'm going to be honest. He deserves a lot of credit. The guy's played every single league game this season. And I think he's brilliant. I really do. Can he improve on the ball? Maybe a little bit, but he's 25. He's not perfect. I'd rather have him than Harry Maguire, who cost £80 million. So, he's a quality player. He's a quality player. If Gabriel was English, he'd be in the England team next to John Stones. That's the reality of the situation. So, listen, somebody said there, you've bashed him so many times. I've also applauded him a lot of times. Listen, we know the Bozo gene was there a little bit, but he's been fantastic this season. So I'm giving him a lot of props. I think he's a class act. I'm glad he signed a long-term deal as well. I'm giving him 8 out of 10 as well, same as Kiwior. And let's hope the brother is available for the weekend, man. Did you see Gabriel fighting with Aspilicueta laying down the look? Aspilicueta's a bit of a scumbag, isn't he, as well? So sometimes you have to. Gabriel has been immense since the World Cup, and also people have to understand he had to deal with the negative feeling of not making the World Cup with Brazil. Seeing Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli go to the World Cup and you get left at home, that's hard to take. He's took it in his stride. He'll be in that Brazil squad soon. Anyway, let's go into the midfield, people. I'm going to be honest. Before the game, I thought it was the Chuckle Brothers. I said this is the slowest midfield pairing you will ever see in the Premier League. Granit Xhaka and Jorginho, I thought we might get exposed by Chelsea's mobility in that midfield. But we were all right. We got away with it. And you know what? They both had really good games. So let me give some credit. Jorginho, for me, had an excellent game. He kept the ball. He kept us ticking. He put Enzo Fernandez on his back. And had a really good game against his old team. I'll give Jorginho 8 out of 10. Chelsea made that midfield look fast. It was strange. They couldn't get near us. I thought Jorginho had a really good game. He got a standing ovation when he came off. And he knew what he was doing, putting up that picture of him on the ball with Enzo Fernandez on his back. I'm actually going to nudge it up for an 8.5 just for the sheer, scummy behaviour, which I respect. So, brilliant. Now, a good question. Going up against Newcastle, do you still play Jorginho and Xhaka, or do you bring Thomas Partey back in, bearing in mind you're going up against Joe Linton, who's a powerhouse, Bruno Gomes, who's a class act, Joe Willock, who's got a lot of energy? That is a very interesting question. Would you play the same midfield? I'm not so sure. But Partey's form has worried me, if I'm being honest. I think Thomas Partey will start against Newcastle. Let's go to Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, 20 minutes into the game, I was saying he's been caught on the ball. He should have scored. We need to upgrade him. I still believe we do need to upgrade him. Let me not get carried away. But Granit Xhaka got 2 assists yesterday and had a very good game. Played the full 90. Any 90 minutes where Granit Xhaka doesn't get booked is a good 90 minutes. So I'm going to give Granit... I feel like I should give him higher than Jorginho, even though Jorginho... I'm going to give... He got 2 assists. He had a really good game yesterday, Granit, I'm going to give him 8.5 as well. I'm going to give him 8.5. I thought he had a really good game. Should have scored early on in the game. But Granit had a good game. But he does need upgrading. I feel like I should give him a 9, really. But I think he could have scored. That's probably the only reason. I'm going to give him 8.5. 2 assists. Had a really good game in the end, Granit Xhaka. Fair play to him. Listen, he's had his best season for Arsenal. Let's be totally honest. He's had his best season. I think they keep him at the club next year, but I stand by my opinion that Granit should be upgraded at the end of the season. I'm not saying you sell him, maybe he becomes a squad player, but for me, I still want to see somebody better come in next season and push us to that next level. But anyway, let's go to Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard, the skipper. The skipper for me, Martin Odegaard, was man of the match yesterday, in my opinion. I thought he had a fantastic game. Scored 2 goals. The first goal was absolutely fantastic. Tony Yeboah crossbar and in finish. And the second goal was fantastic movement. Just quickly there, Granit Xhaka, 5 goals, 7 assists. That is a good season for him, a guy that's not a natural goal scorer. I would have loved to have seen Odegaard score a hat-trick, actually. But I'm going to give Odegaard... I'm going 9 out of 10 for Martin Odegaard. Thought he had a fantastic game yesterday. Man of the match. They didn't really stop him. Second half, we took our foot off the pedal a little bit. But as I said, the numbers that Odegaard has produced this season... He's put in some serious work. 14 goals and 7 assists. 21 goal contributions in 33 games. Considering last year, he contributed 11 goals contribution. 7 goals, 4 assists. He's going to end up with double that this season. He's put in a serious season. Now, I've questioned him at times. Does he turn up in the big games, especially away from home? Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Again, I'm putting it out there. He's in serious contention to get Arsenal Player of the Season. He should be in the Premier League Team of the Season as well. And he's had a fantastic season. Should he be the captain? I'm not sure, but I can't question him as a player. You know, they're De Bruyne type of numbers, 14 goals in a Premier League season. So give him his credit. Man of the match for me. And, you know, there's talk of him signing a 7-year contract at Arsenal this summer. I understand why. I do. He's 24, got a great attitude, trains well, left-footed, understands the game well. I think he can still go up another level, but he's been a credit. He's been a credit. Very, very good player, and I think he can get even better. Big up Big C, watching and chilling in Mexico. Big up the community. I had to check in. Are you doing games this weekend? Yeah, so obviously we're playing Sunday against Newcastle. Do I do another game? I don't know. Maybe if Man City drop points tonight, I'll do their next game, but it's not likely. So let's get into the front three. I'm going to start with the most controversial one, because in the chat yesterday, a lot of people were saying Saka's having a poor game, get him off. People were saying 3 and 4 out of 10. And Amani, I agree. De Bruyne type numbers, but not De Bruyne type quality. And we saw that last week. De Bruyne's on a whole other level. I thought Saka had an okay game yesterday. There was a lot of hype around how bad people thought he played. Now, I didn't rewatch the game this morning. So, obviously, doing the watch-along, reading the comments, sometimes I miss parts of the game. I've got a 6 written down for Saka. Now, I'm leaning on the community. What do you think of Saka's performance yesterday? I personally thought Saka was okay. I thought he troubled Chilwell a few times. He had a shot that went wide. He had a couple dangerous crosses. I thought he was dangerous. Like Ant says, you've took the words out of my mouth. He was dangerous without the end product. I had him down as a 6. What are you guys saying? A lot of you saying 5. 5 again. Poor choices in certain situations. Thought Saka was poor. 5 out of 10. Eros said for 6 for sure was average. 5 again. 4, 4.5. Look lazy. 5. Wow, people really going in on Saka. Dre says 5, 4.5, 6.5. Saka needs 2 months rest. Was a 5 and no higher. Slow on the ball. 6 isn't good enough for his level. Well, do you know what? I go with the community. I'm a community man. We're going with the community. I had him down as a 6. I thought he was lively without great end product. But I suppose equally, football is all about end product. I just thought he had an average game. I thought he still looked like he had Chilwell on the back foot. But I suppose, yeah, without the end product, can I call it a good performance? Maybe not. So community are not rating Saka's performance yesterday at all. Too one-dimensional and bad decisions. I do hear you with the one-dimensional thing. I think he needs to add a little bit more to his game moving forward. I had him down as a 6. The community's got him down as a 5. We'll meet in the middle then, 5.5. Stuck in the middle with you, do. All right, anyway, let me not start singing, people. Let's go Leandro Trossard, a.k.a. Bossard. Wouldn't say that he bossed the game yesterday. I thought he had a good game. One thing's for sure, when Trossard plays, we seem way more intelligent. We seem to have way more understanding of the game when we're on the pitch. I feel like we're more creative with him and Odegaard on the pitch together. And I thought he had a really good game, really, at times when he was on the ball. Probably wasn't... Didn't hurt Aspilicueta as much as I expected him to. But still a good game. I had Trossard down as a 7. What do you guys think in the comments about Trossard's performance? Trossard, 8. We definitely look more fluid. Trossard was a 7. He creates doubts in the defenders. Tross ain't Dross. 7 for a Leb. 6.5 said South London's fine. I had him down as a 7. I thought he was good without being spectacular. I don't think he troubled Aspilicueta that much, but I just think we look more intelligent when he plays. Him and Odegaard, very good understanding. Now, again, another question I want to ask. Against Newcastle on Sunday, what do you do with the front three? Because I think it's very unfair, personally, that Martinelli got dropped. And I think Martinelli probably deserves to come back in against Newcastle. But then the problem is, who do you drop out of the front three? Trossard's had a good game. A lot of people want him in. Jesus scored again. I don't want to say it, but does Saka get dropped? But then my problem always is, I don't think Trossard or Martinelli are great on the right-hand side. That's the problem. So it's difficult. Who do you play on the right if you drop Saka? Maybe we'll have to do a poll. My final one anyway in the player rating. So Trossard gets a 7. Trossard can play on the right, said Snake Eyes. Trossard and Martinelli bench Saka. We win when Trossard starts. We do tend to. I think Jesus has to play. He's scored now and played well. Saka looks like the one that's hanging on a little bit, you know. Dio said, wouldn't say poor, that's a stretch. However, take the man off when it's not working. Trossard usually balls whenever he plays. Playing more, 5 out of 10. I think he was talking about Saka there, Dio. Snake Eye said, big up, I will be tuning in. Big up, pray City lose or draw. We'll all be West Ham FC tonight. And Jerry31 said, it was a Pepe performance from Saka. Jesus on the right, people saying he has played there for Man City. Let's finish with Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is funny again. My shamelessness knows no bounds, people. Anyone who was watching the watch along last night, I'm going, Gabriel Jesus, he's playing like Lacazette. He's at left back. He's in defensive midfield. Why is he not in the area? And then he scores and everything calms down. Woosa. I've always rated him. He's a great scorer. Shameless settings FC. I have to add balance to the Gabriel Jesus argument for 2 reasons. Number one, you look at what he does for the team, and he does a lot for the team. Doesn't always necessarily do it from a goal-scoring perspective, and I do think we need that different kind of striker where we need a goal and the guy will get us a goal. Jesus does a lot for the team where sometimes he has good games without scoring. I still think we need an out-and-out goal scorer, a striker that lives and breathes goals. However, I looked at his numbers and I thought, 22 Premier League games this season, right? 20 starts, 10 goals, 5 assists. 15 goal contributions in 20 starts this season. Now, he was out for 3 months with injury. One of them months was the World Cup. So he missed 2 months of Premier League football. If he hadn't missed those 2 months, we played 8 games in those 2 months. You would have thought, okay, maybe he scores another 4 or 5 goals. You'd be talking about maybe 15 goals, 7, 8 assists. I don't think Jesus will ever be a prolific 25 goal a season striker. However, without the injury, I think we'd be talking 15, 16 league goals with 4 games left. He would have probably got close to that 20 with the assists. Wasim said he was watching him yesterday. He could see how strong he was. You see the time yesterday where he just held off for Fana, said, relax, little man. Even give him a little slap in the face. Another thing as well, he doesn't take penalties. If he took the penalties off Saka, I think we've had 4 or 5 penalties this year. Without the injury and the penalties, maybe he can stumble his way to 20 goals. I don't know. Dre gave him, I think, 7.8 or something out of 10. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to do Strikers Union. I'm going to give him the 8 out of 10. I'm going to give him the 8 because for all the dirty work, he got the goal along with it. His hold-up play, I thought, was fantastic. And it has to be something that's being encouraged by the manager. I'm telling you now, there's no striker that wants to run around like that. There's no striker that wants to be at left back, in defensive midfield, on the right wing. Strikers want to play the width of the 18-yard box and score goals. So I'm going to give him his dues, man. I'm going to give him his dues. He put in a great shift, great hold-up, 8 out of 10, got a goal, 10th goal of the season. Let's hope he can get maybe another 5 and finish with 15. So big up man like Gabby Jesus, but I definitely want another striker next season. I would probably get rid of Eddie and bring in another one. The subs, none of the subs I didn't think really made a big difference. But it was again, the substitutes were interesting. Smith Rowe doesn't come on again. What is going off with this guy? He can't get a kick. And when he does, you give it him against Man City. Martinelli came on, didn't get the ball much. Tierney came on, looked vexed. Nelson came on, didn't get the ball much. Holding and Partey came on right at the end. They all just get a standard 5, standard 6, whatever. None of them really got involved in the game. Highbury's local badger said Jesus is not a centre forward. He originally plays as a wide man. He's a winger. I blame Arteta. But the thing was interesting. You heard from Edu when he signed Jesus that one of the things that he said was, I want the original Gabriel Jesus back. I don't want the hard-working winger that I've seen at Manchester City. When he came to Manchester City, he was considered a wonder kid striker of Brazilian football. So why, which is why I thought when he came to Arsenal, we're going to get the goal scorer, Jesus. So, maybe next season we'll see more. Maybe the injuries of what have stopped him. E. Ross said, Curtis, conspiracy theory. Do you think something has went down with ESR and Arteta? It's strange. Number 10 shirt. Big contract. Now he can't get a kick all of a sudden. Everyone's getting a kick apart from Smith Rowe. It's a strange one. Smith Rowe will get sold. I'm saying it now, said South London. It's going to be interesting. There are rumours that that Aston Villa are looking at him again. Emery knows him. Maybe they come back with a little bit more money than they did last time. Eric said, for Palmeiras, he played as a striker and he was considered a wonder kid. So, well, I think Jesus would be a great striker in a 2. If you had a target man striker, a Tony, an Osimhen, a Vlahovic, somebody like that who kind of occupies the centre-backs, and then you can allow Jesus to just move around. I think he'd be fantastic in a 2. But anyway, let's see what happens over the summer, people. Right, game done. By the way, I forgot to do the rating of Mikel Arteta. I'm going to give Mikel Arteta... I'm going to give him 8 out of 10 for yesterday. Thought he made good changes. Kivior came in and played well. I can't help it, and I know it sounds harsh. I had this feeling of, why do it now? Why did you not do it sooner? Why did you not make these changes earlier when the title, we had one hand on the trophy? We've took both hands off the trophy. Pep's got one hand on it. Now you've made changes. Should have made these changes 3 games ago. But Dre said we have an inverted manager. 7.456 rating for Arteta. I'm giving him an 8, but it's with a little bit of, where they walk off and you give him a little slap on the back of the head. It's one of them for Mikel. You get an 8, but bro... it's like me ordering a pizza. You've turned up an hour later. Yeah, I'm still hungry. Yeah, I'll still have the pizza. But it's cold and it just ain't the same right now. So that's how it is for me. This was a cold pizza display from Mikel Arteta. 8 out of 10. Anyway, let's move on. People. That game's done. Chelsea, by the way. I want to say a big thank you to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He turned up yesterday and had an absolute stinker. Didn't get on the ball, got dropped at half-time, did absolutely nothing. So yeah, that was a masterclass. Once a gooner, always a gooner from Oba. He had an absolute shocker. I love Curtis's analogies; they are classic. It came to mind. It was a cold pizza performance. I'm eating it, but I'm not. Yeah, there you go. You're hungry, you've ordered it, you'll take it, but it ain't what you really ordered. By the way, let me quickly mention this. The stupid Arsenal fan is even an Arsenal fan who was shining the laser pen in Mudrik's face. What an absolute idiot. He's been arrested. 21 years of age, arrested for shining a laser pen. I mean, what kind of idiot? Who takes a laser pen to a football game? And he's been arrested. Foolishness. Arsenal, we're meant to go on better than that. I genuinely didn't understand why Arsenal fans booed Mudryk last night. I had no idea why we booed Mudryk. The guy was literally begging us to sign. Like, please sign me. He was twerking. He was putting up pictures of Arteta on his Instagram. What more could the brother do to sign for Arsenal? He wanted to sign for Arsenal. 2 things. Number 1, we didn't offer the numbers they wanted. And number 2, Do you think Shakhtar Donetsk going to allow him to say no to an £88 million transfer when they need the money? You know, he had no choice. You're going to Chelsea, bro. Arsenal ain't paid the money. You're going to Chelsea. Even last night after the game, the man was on the pitch for 2 or 3 minutes talking to Gabriel and Zinchenko. He wants to play for Arsenal. We all know this. So, yeah, I didn't understand the booing. I didn't understand the booing for Mudryk. I can't lie. And I got to admit, and I'm saying it, I actually think he still looks a very good player. I'm not going to cap. He struggled this season, but he's electric. You can see the pace. He's explosive. If they get Poch next season, don't be surprised if that brother starts looking good. But anyway, let's move on. I didn't really hear if Aubameyang got booed. I heard a few boos and a few cheers. So anyway, he did agree to join them. But if you haven't got the option of joining Arsenal and it's stay at Shakhtar or go to Chelsea, he's going to go Chelsea, bro. He's on 20 grand a week. They've offered him 5 times that plus a signing on. He's obviously going to go there. So would you stay at Shakhtar Donetsk or go to Chelsea? You're going to go to Chelsea. It's the reality. So anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Let's talk transfers. This is going to be an interesting one. I saw this story and I just thought it could be silly season, this one. Oba didn't get the ball enough to get booed. But when he came out, I didn't hear whether he got booed or not. They booed Aubameyang, who is a big reason Arteta still holds a job, says Raul. Cheeky 50 million offer for Mudryk. Well, if they get relegated, why not? Mudryk is playing in a rubbish team, exactly. Curtis, the inverted lawyer for Aubameyang. Yeah, I'm inverted now. I thought I was doing the Mo Farah celebration then. Yeah, no, we're done with Oba. No more Oba. He looked well and truly washed up yesterday, I can't lie. It was a sad sight to see him that bad. But anyway, let's move on. Speaking of players with interesting hairlines as well. How about this one, people? Do you want to see Gucci headbands? Louis Vuitton headbands? Hair flicking all over the place? A little bit of vavavoom? Arsenal are considering Alain Saint-Maximin as a potential summer transfer target, with Mikel Arteta keen to bolster our attack ahead of the 23-24 campaign. According to Football for Hayaz, is it? We would be willing to spend around 30 million on the Frenchman. I mean, listen, swag. This one makes me smile. This one makes me laugh a little bit, actually. I think Saint-Maximin card came out yesterday on FIFA, actually. Team of the season moments, was it? It's a great card, very quick. And you know me, I'm a pace merchant. But for me, this is a no for me. This is a no for me, people. 2 years ago, when we'd finished 8th, I would have took him. A year ago, when we finished 5th, as a squad player, impact off the bench, I would have took him. But we're going to finish 2nd or 1st. I'm expecting this football club to go up a level. I'm expecting everything to go to a higher level this season. Yeah? We need to be shopping in Harrods. I told you. Get out of TK Maxx. Get out of Lidl. And buy big boy ballers this summer. I want Leroy Sané, or go and get me Serge Gnabry. Go and get me. If you're looking for a winger, get me a proper winger. I don't want this Gucci headband wearing merchant at Arsenal this summer. I don't. And I like pace. I do. I'm a pace merchant. If you ever play me on FIFA, majority of my players have got at least 90 pace. But Saint-Maximin, the brother can't get in the Newcastle team. They're willing to let him go. He's only played 12 times starts in the league this year. It's a no for me. I've put the poll there. Listen, is there anybody who just thinks I don't care, he's rapid, use him as a sub off the bench to come on for Saka, would you take him? There might be people, if I was looking at it as a desperate point of view, because you know me, if we sign him, I got to dress this up as some sort of good signing. So what I would say was, listen, he's just a good squad player. He's got 94 pace on FIFA. You bring him on last 20 on the right for Saka. That's where we go with it. And now, as I said the other day, you might find a situation where Arsenal don't sign a top quality right winger Because what top quality right winger is going to want to come and compete with Saka when they know that he's the poster boy, the star boy of the football club, and you're probably going to end up on the bench? So what I will say is this: people calling him Saint Medium. Listen, Sin, I respect that. It ain't Maximum, that's for sure. Saint Minimum, we should call him. Alan Saint Minimum. For me, it's a no. I think we can get a far better winger than him. I would rather take Wilfried Zaha. I'm sorry, Nimbo, if you're in the comments. He's a free agent. I'd rather take Wilf than pay 30 million for Saint Maximum. However, you've got to look at it like this. Now, there's a story today that Newcastle have made a verbal offer of 80 million euros for Rafinha from Barcelona, right? I don't know if Arsenal are going to sign a big, expensive, exciting right winger to come and be a squad player behind Saka. I just think they may get a cheaper player, which we were being linked with Neto the other week and now Saint Maximum. You might not see a real big, exciting winger come into the football club because they've given Martinelli 180. They've got Trossard. They've got Smith Rowe on the left. On the right, you've got Saka. So don't be surprised if this is the kind of level of winger that we end up signing. I know he predominantly plays on the left, but he can play on the right as well. No to Zaha, he's too much of a diva. Southern Guna said all signings need to be Champions League caliber and Premier League title challenging ready. No projects, future potential, or 1987 style players, brother. You're right. Big up Southern Guna. No more projects at Arsenal. We way out here said this season was as good as it gets. Sorry, Curtis. I mean, I hope you're wrong. I get what you mean, but we got to cling to the hope that we can get better. Challenge, Big C can't say Zaha in a video. Well, we'll try. I'm not saying I can guarantee it, but I'll try my best. Did you not want Rafinha last season? Somebody just said. Now, listen. Have you ever heard the song? I'm about to start singing, Cormac. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. I mean, they say 24 hours is a long time, bro. So 12 months, I'm not the same person I was 12 months ago. 12 months ago, we'd finished 5th. Tottenham had nicked Champions League. I was emotional. I was angry. Rafinha looked good at Leeds. Yeah, bring Rafinha to the carpet. But we're about to finish 1st or 2nd. I don't want Rafinha at Arsenal. He's a C-Tech Mahrez. I don't want him. 80 million, nah. Bond that. So, I'm not the same guy. Yesterday's price is not today's price, Cormac. I don't want Rafinha. And I don't want to spend 80 million on him. The brother's got attitude problem as well. Nah, man, bun him. Nimbo said Curtis is Zaha's agent. Ah, dear. Cliff said, you are mad if you think this club is going to bring in someone quality. Yes, I would prefer Zaha. We need to take, say, Maximum and be happy with him. Listen, are we aiming higher than where Arsenal are aiming? Are they looking for a squad player right winger? Which, realistically, if you're going to spend big on a midfielder, like, I don't know, let's say, for example, they get Declan Rice, or they go and get a right back as well. They're going to spend big money on the areas where it's a priority. You're coming into the team. You're going to start. They're going to spend less money on the players that they're signing for squad players. So if they're looking for a squad player on the right, somebody that doesn't mind sitting on the bench if Saka starts most weeks, you're not going to get a Gnabry, a Sané, a top quality right winger. You're going to get somebody just below that radar. So don't be surprised if a Saint Maximum or a Zaha ends up at Arsenal, people. Because this is Arsenal. We'll probably go and sign Yuri Tillemans on a free. Mr. Perfect said, when did you get back from America and now you're doing YouTube? I'm confused it. When did you get back from America and now you're doing YouTube? Like, somebody needs to explain that to me. I'm all over the place here. But thank you for the super chat. Listen, you might have put it in the wrong channel, but I'll take it. Inflation is real, man. The gas and electric's real high right now. We got to do what we got to do. I've been on YouTube for a little while, I think, unless it's a figment of my imagination. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Fortis Guna said, good morning, Curtis. Just joining the stream. Big up. Big up. I'm at the start, though. Yeah, no worries, man. You'll catch up. Yeah, I don't know what that one. Yeah, they think I'm still in Orlando. I've been back for a while, you know. I ain't in Disneyland no more. But hey, you might have not even meant to put that super chat in here, but no refunds, I'm afraid. No refunds. I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking. Oh, dear me. I see you said that's an instant ban and no super chat refund. Maybe they've gone in the wrong channel. I don't know what's going on, but thank you for the super chat anyway. Bleck said Adu? Freddie Adu. Remember Freddie Adu? He was the American Pele, they used to call him. LMA manager legend. I always used to sign him. Oh, this is a good point. Edu at his best work, says Bleck, by the way. This could be the one. Confusing you for Troops. Maybe they've done one. Maybe she thinks I'm Troops. You know, light skinned, maybe. Maybe they think we all look the same. I don't know. Don't go anywhere. But by the way, if you thought I was Troops, I'm not Troops. But thank you for the £5. I won't be passing it on either. We'll keep that. But no, just for your info, I'm not Troops, by the way. I'm not. But thank you for the super chat. We'll keep it moving. Or maybe I should say that I am Troops, and maybe they'll keep putting super chats in. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep moving. Coming to America, Eddie Settings, the king of Zamunda. I am a prince, Akeem. Right. Anyway, let's move on from Saint Maximum, or as we're calling him, Saint Minimum. Let's end the poll. 64% say no to Saint Maximum. 36% say you'd take him. A lot of pace merchants in here that say, Bonnet, just get him in. Use his pace, 99 pace. And we'll see where it takes us. I'm with you on that. I'm a FIFA merchant as well. But nah, I don't think he's... I don't see Saint Maximum coming to Arsenal. I can't lie, people. Do we quickly... I'm just looking at... Right, we'll quickly skip through the waffle. Quick waffle, and then we're done, people. Quick waffle. Can't leave you leaving with empty stomachs. Let's give you a quick bit of waffle from the gaffer. From Mikel Arteta. AT said, Big C, are Arsenal's failures more on the top brass? We failed to prepare in January. Do not give Arteta the tools required. Players are still bottle jobs. Ultimately, if you keep asking your owner for plan A and they keep giving you plan B, then at times you've got to question the owner. Right, we can look at Arteta for the lack of tactics during the game, for the substitutions, for the for some of the team selections and things like that, Inverted troops, yeah, maybe they think I'm an inverted troops. People play left back, but I like to get into midfield. AT said, Big C, are Arsenal failure. Oh, no, we've read that one already. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get into the waffle. Quick waffle from him. I heard his interview after the game with Fabregas and Hasselbank and Vieira. The PR's in full effect. The PR is in full effect. I can't lie. It is what it is, On the first half, I'm really pleased with the first 60 minutes. The way we approached the game, the way we started our energy, a lot of movement. We played forward. After 60 minutes, we should have scored 4 or 5. Let me move on. We ain't got time to be reading that. Charles Watts saying we're on phase 3 like Arsenal is a Marvel movie. Yeah, Charles, listen, they've had their check. Back again. I mean, it's called Mr. Perfect, but bro, you're Curtis from Notts. I seen you in Vicky Centre trying not to get noticed a few years back. Vic Centre is the town centre in Nottingham, by the way. You saw me trying not to get noticed. I mean, I don't think there were crowds of fans chasing after me in my hometown city and paparazzi chasing me down the street. Again, thank you for the super chat. I'm confused, If you want to keep going £5 a message, then we'll keep talking. I don't know where we're going with this conversation, but thank you for the super chat. Anyway. Oh, dear. At least they know that I'm not Troops, so we're moving forward. We're in phase 3 right now, people. We're in phase 3. But anyway, the convo's going a little bit west right now, but at £5 a pop, we'll keep going. You know, if you want to keep talking, you know, we'll keep it moving. I told you, inflation is real. You know, the heating can't go on no more. Saw me in knots trying not to get noticed. That people are, you know, I know we're building a nice community here. It ain't like that. We're not holding off crowds of fans the moment I touch down back in knots. But you know, you boosted my ego a little bit. Big up my brother Jar Digger. Lol, keep sending the chats. Just keep sending them, bro. It's real. If they want to pay, and we'll keep it moving. No refunds, though, by the way. No refunds. No refunds. Keep it moving. On the first half, he said, I'm really pleased with the first 60 minutes. Do you know what? I actually can't be bothered to read anything that he's saying here. Let's just skip it. On how much we needed the result, he said, I don't have a number, but personally, a lot. I mean, they didn't ask you for a number between 1 and 100. On how Kivior performed, he looked ready, he looked fresh, he looked really determined. The Kiwi was ripe. The Kiwi was ripe and ready to go. No refunds, final sale. Let's skip it, man. On Gabriel's injury, he said he wasn't comfortable. He tried for 10 or 15 minutes, but he could not carry on, which is strange for Gabby. Why continue? The brother was on the floor 2-3 times. And now, you don't know, he could have made the injury worse. On whether criticism of Odegaard after the last game was fair, he said, I don't know, I don't read the comments. On his goals and assists, that's what we had to get out of him. He's got the talent. He needed to occupy different spaces and become a threat. On whether the players have belief the title race isn't over, he said, for sure, we discussed that. We're at the top. We're top of the league. On whether it would have been easy to drop their heads, he said, we cannot do that. What he's learnt during the intense period, how great it is to win a football match. Yep, you've waited long enough the last few weeks. If he found it difficult to keep himself up during tough moments, he said, no, it's not about putting the message too much on them. And if people underestimate tonight's performance, said, I don't know, that's our job. Does tonight result give us renewed energy? He said, winning gives us a reset. What did Jorginho bring to the team? Leadership, intelligence. Is it easier to focus on the task following all the build-up? He said, yep, the Manchester City game has gone. Did Odegaard set the tone? He said, yep, but he's done it on many occasions. Quick waffle. Next stop, start trouble inside the Waffle House. Cameron settings, dipset people, we're out of here. I can't take that waffle today. I can't lie. It's too much. I have to just wrap that up. Listen, I'm going to round it up. We ain't got no more super chats from them saying that I'm, you know, being celebrity status in knots. I mean, I was waiting. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there, people. Great stream as always. 2,000 of you in the chat. We're all West Ham tonight. Come on, I'm forever blowing bubbles. Pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high. They reach the sky. Come on, you hammers. Declan Rice, secure that move to Arsenal today. Make sure you listen. If you can't win, this is my advice to West Ham today, right? And I'm sorry, and this is a bit naughty what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. You've got to win the league by any means necessary, right? If you can't beat Manchester City tonight, West Ham, make sure a few of them players come off that pitch with some cuts and bruises. I'm sorry, somebody had to say it. If Haaland's got to tweak that hamstring, then tweak it. I don't wish major injuries on any players, but tweak of a hamstring, roll the ankle, maybe a bad cut on the shin, then do what you have to do. Mikel Antonio, yardman up front, go and rough up Diaz. So, West Ham, we're all behind you tonight. Come on, you hammers! And do something, anything. Just do something that makes Man City upset. Let me finish off with the 2 super chats. AT said, what I said specifically, that if Arteta had Caicedo, Tony, and a good centre-back and still failed, I would say is the problem. Now it is too muddy. And I do hear you on that. But, you know, like we said, until he gets his number 1 targets, then we don't know whether he's as good a manager or not. Curtis, you seen Fabrizio say Bellingham to Madrid. We never wanted him anyway. We'll go Declan Rice FC, people. Big up everyone locked in today. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe as well. We'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be celebrating a West Ham win, people. Bless.